The thing I am most grateful for is the way in which I grew up, which was in a very caring and loving environment where we didn't have a lot, but if you wanted something, you went out and got it. You earned your way to get it. The other thing that I am most grateful for is my wife and my 2 kids, because they have been the cornerstone of everything that I do. I've known my wife since May 12th, 1982. She is perhaps the best sounding board for anything that I have going on.
I met a professor that she changed my life. Her name is Catherine Mavrekakis. So inspiring. She just opened so many possibilities for me in the way I was thinking about culture and when I was thinking about even my own country. So being far away kind of allowed me to reflect on what it is to be French, what is French culture, or why should I challenge my own culture. So that person was very important in my life. I got the virus, like we say in French, it's just like couldn't stop traveling, and then I applied to Los Angeles and I got in, and then I started my PhD career. The passion, she gave me the passion. I actually wanted to question everything. So maybe it's also because I'm French and I'm questioning everything. It's a mix of both. So I'm very grateful for that. Having the opportunity to know 3 different systems of education, French, Canadian, and American. And I think it adds a great value to what any international students or professors are doing. We have this extra knowledge that we feel that we shouldn't be proud of, because everybody's like, yeah, but you're not an expert on anything. It's just like, a little bit. Well, actually not. We know really a lot about those different systems. And I think I'm grateful for this, to have this variety of knowledge.
Oh, that's a long list. I wish it was one person, but I can't say it is. For some of those different times that I mentioned there were big changes, there were people involved that I consulted, talked to, befriended. Particularly in 2005, there was one person in particular who had, at that point, recently left the organization, happened to go to the same business school I went to, but was much more senior and older than I was, and wiser, experienced. So I went to him, sought him out, and kind of laid out the deck of cards the way I was seeing it. He agreed with the vision that I had, which was interesting in of itself, because like I said, not everybody was talking about kind of what I saw. And he gave me kind of his assessment or view on what he thought I should do, given what I thought my options were. At the time, that resulted in me staying at the firm, just moving groups as opposed to going outside the firm into the corporate investment banking role. I think for a whole lot of reasons that helped a lot. And I'm not sure where my investment banking career would be today if it probably wasn't for that advice, especially given what happened 2 years later. With the entire financial world falling off a bit of a cliff.
There was a board member, the chair of the board at one of the organizations I worked for. I just can't speak more highly to the amount that I learned from her. She was, even when I was there, was in her 80s, and she had more passion and drive and energy than anyone I had ever met, and just spent relentless hours advocating for the work that we were doing and teaching me about the work that we were doing, and teaching me about fundraising and development, and connecting me with all different mentors, and also being so willing to listen to my ideas and to hear what I had to say and to value what I might bring to the table that could be different from her. And I think of her so gratefully and appreciatively almost every single day of my career. I think having that type of support around you is amazing.
I used to love space, and I used to love physics. I used to read all these books. I barely understood what was going on, but I knew there were planets and there were stars and atoms and stuff like that. And then I got to high school, and I met this wonderful teacher, Sufyan Al-Amri. He helped me realize that physics is really cool, but what I was really interested in was the math, the mechanisms behind that physics. My doctoral advisor, Dr. Ugur Abdullah, he's a god amongst us ordinary people, You think about Gauss, you think about Riemann, you think about Hilbert, Gödel. Entire areas of mathematics developed by women. Paul Ladizenskaya, Emily Noether.
All the people that supported me through the process. I had exceptional advisors. They showed me a path forward that said, this is how you do history in a way that respects people, respects the people you work with, respects the students that you're going to be teaching, and also respects the historical actors you're going to be writing about. Showed me how you could be a good person and a historian in the same thing.
I'm definitely very grateful to my friend Abby Bernard. She really was the one that got me to even understand that merchandising existed in this world, and since my first day interning there, I knew I was sold. This is what I was meant to do with my career.